It's mailbag time here on New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's video, we're just going to answer questions from subscribers. I love doing these mailbags because I just get to interact with all the real ones out there, and I get to answer questions from people that continuously support and watch this show. And that's really all this is about, building a community, and I don't think there's a better community here on Giants YouTube. Let's start off with the Queen, Gilly. She's Twitter famous, but she still makes time for the little guys here on YouTube. Says, will Singletary and Tracy be our new Thunder and Lightning? Best case scenario, yeah, I think my voice just cracked. That's embarrassing. Best case scenario, yeah, they would be. I'm interested to see the overall different ways that the Giants handle who gets carries for this team. I think that Devin Singletary, I think it's just what it's going to be. He will be your RB1, but I still think Eric Gray is a part of this team's future. You just picked him in the 5th round last year with this regime. I don't think they're just punting on Eric Gray as a player, and you also just selected Tyrone Tracy in the 5th round. He's going to be 25 in his rookie season. So you got 3 backs that are all going to, I think, get carries this year. I think Singletary will be the lead guy. I think Gray will act, I don't know. I think Gray gets more touches than Tracy, but I could see Tracy being a guy that does get more carries than Gray. I think Singletary is number 1, and then Gray and Tracy are the guys that battle it out for 2 and 3. But where Tracy, I think, will have the edge over Gray is his ability to play on passing downs, because he has that background as a wide receiver. He's more fluent coming out of the backfield. He could split out wide and even run some routes. I think that'll get him on the field pretty quickly. Pokemore, what's up, man? Will we be getting any comp picks for Saquon and X leaving in free agency? Also, any updates on the tampering with Saquon and the Eagles? From what I have heard, the New York Giants are expected to get a 4th-round pick for Xavier Mckinney. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's false. It's just what I've heard. We'll probably find out about that in about 8 months or so. Any updates? The update is that we didn't get any picks from them in 2024. We could in 2025, but all we know is that there was an update made prior to the draft that it won't include 2024 picks as the investigation is still ongoing. Mikey, what's up, bro? Thanks for stopping by and always showing love. Says, what would it cost us to get Pat Surtain from Denver, Slayton in a 4th rounder? I think a little bit more than that. And I'm not so sure the Denver Broncos are going to trade Pat Surtain. There was rumors, and we talked about on this channel, that they were dangling him to move up inside the top 10. But they didn't even have to do it because supposedly Bo Nix was their guy all along. Look, if all it costs to get Pat Surtain is a 4th and Darius Slayton, you do it today. And you do it again tomorrow. And then you do it again on Sunday. I don't think the Broncos are trading him, and I think it just costs more than that. If I'm Denver and I'm trading him, I need at least a 2nd-round pick. He's young and only getting better, and he plays maybe the hardest position in the NFL outside of tackle and quarterback. So I would say it's going to cost some more than that. Maybe a 2nd-round pick and Slate. It's that boy Joe. Says Cor'Dale Flott or Hawkins for CB2. I think it's more likely to be Cor'Dale Flott. Brian Daboll at rookie minicamp this past weekend, when asked about the corner position, talked about how Drew Phillips is going to play slot and how slot is a premium position for the Giants. And by name, he mentioned one corner as someone that he's got a lot of trust in playing on the opposite side of the field as Deontay Banks. And it was Cor'Dale Flott, which tells me Flott is going to start at corner going into camp, going into preseason. If he plays well, hold up that job. And then if not, it'll be a competition with Nick McLeod and Tre Hawkins. Who do you think will be the starting CB2? Week 1, you're going to have Deontay Banks and who as your other corner on the field? Is it Hawkins? Is it Flott? Is it McLeod? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Double Z, what up, man? Zucky Zokes. So, thanks for not yelling at me right now. Says, who would you want to start at QB Week 1? Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, or Nathan Rourke? Daniel Jones. I want Daniel Jones to start Week 1. That's what I got. I got Daniel Jones starting Week 1. That's all I can say about that. I want Daniel Jones starting Week 1. That means he's healthy, And that means that we're starting our final assessment, potentially. More questions around the corner, but first I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app, will match your first deposit up to $100. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the promo code CLNS, and they will hook you up big time. What is Prize Picks? It's daily fantasy sports made easy. You create a lineup of 2 to 6 players for NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, golf, NASCAR, so much more. And all you do is select more or less, pick more, pick less on the total that Prize Picks has set for that player when it comes to their statistics for the game. The more players you have on your lineup, the higher your payout and multiplier can be. Or you can roll with just a 2-player lineup, and they will 3x your money. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the promo code CLNS. Put $100 in your account. They'll match it, give you $100 for free. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Be a real one. Tanner Miller. Would you say Neal is too slow as a tackle and Neal needs to be a guard to better this team? What Evan Neal needs to be to better this team is a good football player. And if that is the case, then you're going to be in a good spot. Because if Evan Neal is good, that means you got 2 really good tackles. I don't know if he's going to be a better guard than tackle. A lot of people just fall into the trap of, if you can't play tackle, just slide to the guard and you can play guard. It ain't that easy. It doesn't always work out like that. It takes a different type of skill set, different type of athletic ability to play guard compared to tackle. Just like it takes a different skill set and different athletic ability to play tackle compared to guard. I worry about the foot speed, and I worry about the balance, and I worry about the punch power and his ability to block people on the second level as a guard. Can we really imagine Evan Neal being a pulling guard on a power play? I don't know. I wouldn't say he's too slow because he was able to block edge rushers in the SEC. I'm just hoping Carmen Brasillo, the new offensive line coach, can fix technically and fix his technique and just make him a good football player. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I sure do hope so. MSH, what's up, man? What are your hopes for this team next year realistically? Realistically, I want the Giants to be playing meaningful football games in December, into January, competing for a playoff spot. Not competing like they were last year for a fake playoff spot where you needed this, and this to happen, and then that, and that to happen to increase your playoff likelihood from 1% to 10%. Be playing meaningful games down the stretch. Compete for a spot to make the playoffs. I never want to look up next year and say season's over, like it was after one game last year. That would be my realistic hope, and realistically, get better each week. Have me feeling more optimistic about the Giants a year from now compared to where I am right now. Put us in a spot where we actually feel like 2025 is a year we can compete. If you do that, I will consider that a successful season. Nope. What's up, man? I know Eric Ray is apparently... No, he's not. He's not an apparent bust. He was a 5th-round pick, and he barely played. But I think we were sleeping on him. He never got... Exactly. I'm right there with you, man. Exactly right there with you. Way too early to call a 5th-round running back that got less than 100 carries a bust. Let's see what he does with a better offensive line. I'm not ready to right the ship for Eric Ray. Poke Moore, what draft picks do you think we can get for Neal? No one's trading draft picks for an Evan Neal. Darius Slayton may be a 5th-round pick, but I don't see the Giants trading either of those players. Maybe Slayton if Slayton is just like demanding a contract extension and he doesn't get one, he's like, well, then I'm not going to play, which would be crazy talk. And who is Darius Slayton to request a trade? But we've seen worse players request trades in the past. Both these guys are going to be on the roster week 1. That's my prediction. Brian Brown, outside of Evan Neal, who out of all of Joe Schoen's draft picks do you expect the most out of this season, and who do you think will surprise people? Out of all the Joe Schoen draft picks, who do I expect the most out of? Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau. 5th overall pick, coming into his 3rd season. He's got a dude now on the opposite side of him in Dexter Lawrence. He's got a dude next to him in Dexter Lawrence and a dude on the opposite side in Brian Burns. I want to be talking about Kayvon Thibodeau as a potential all-pro player next year. Who do you think will surprise people? Who do I think will surprise people from Joe Schoen's draft picks? I could see Wan'Dale Robinson surprising some people. I could see Evan Neal, but he's not for this outside of Evan Neal. What about Tyler Nubin? What about Nubin comes in, he's your starting safety, and you look at him and say, okay, he's our starting safety until he doesn't want to be our starting safety anymore. For the next 5 years, he's our starting safety. That'd be pretty cool. Last year, you could say Micah McFadden was the biggest surprise. I'm expecting another good year from him. Maybe it's Cor'Dale Flott entering year 3. Maybe he becomes a starting corner. What if it's DJ Davidson or Jordan Riley and they're starting D tackle? There's a lot of guys that have an opportunity to show that they're worth something this year. Joe says, obviously Nabers wide receiver 1, but with that being well known, and said, who would you say is your own words wide receiver 2? Darius Slayton. And you might even say Darius Slayton's your wide receiver 1 and Nabers is your receiver 2. I've got Nabers 1 and Slayton 2, but yeah, those are your top 2 dogs with Robinson and Hyatt right behind them. Make sure you are subscribed to New York Giants Now, because if we did not get to your question, it's your own fault. It means you're not subscribed. We're going to show love to the people that subscribe and show love to us. That's how I operate. Show love to me, I show love to you. So hit that sub button, hit that thumbs up icon, and let's go Big Blue.